try small. When you want to deploy a new tool, you can deploy it in few weeks, in few months. Thinking about IT tools should not make you think about 2, 3, 4 years project.
Yeah.
Start small with operational added value very quickly.
Today, I'm really excited about the person who I'm with, as well as the topic that we're going to discuss. The director of Iterop, a Dassault system solution, business process solution actually, and his philosophy centers on creating seamless, efficient systems that free up teams to focus on what they do best, because that's the goal now. His passion for helping organizations streamline their operations and empower their people is truly inspiring because he has the people first philosophy. I won't take more time introducing him, and I would like you all to welcome Quentin. Hi Quentin, how are you?
Hi, Kunai, I'm good, thank you.
Super excited for you to be here today with me and about the topics that we were going to discuss today.
Yeah, I'm very excited to participate to this podcast and to share our enthusiasm with people hearing our podcast.
Awesome, awesome. Is this your first time on a podcast?
Yes, I think so. I'm a bit stressed, but it's gonna be okay.
No worries about it. You're the expert, so we're just gonna talk about the ecosystem that you are in and what you do in day to day. So first thing I actually wanted to talk about, since we are in this topic, is the digital transformation. Right now, it's kind of a buzzword that we often hear, but in your opinion, that I want to know, since you're in this space, that what does it mean in practice for an organization?
Yeah, that's a very good topic because it's obviously a buzzword, digital transformation. Everybody is talking about digital transformation, but I don't think my grandma knows what digital transformation means. For me, digital transformation is linked with people first, how we can connect people and technology, because there are a lot of different softwares on the market making a lot of different things, and people in marketing like you are promoting the fact that, okay, it's going to be very nice, full of energy, full of values, etc., etc. But for people like me, talking about digital transformation every day is how we can empower and how we can help our teams on the field to solve their everyday tiny problem, how we can connect them with the technology. And this technology sometimes is threatening. I mean, all the different people in our teams are not fond of technologies, about technology.
About the change, yeah.
About the change. Yeah, and it's normal. I mean, when you are working in the same area for 20 years, I can truly understand that I do not want to change my mind. And I'm doing this in my way, and I do not want to change the way I'm doing it. So.
Yeah. Do you think the pandemic that we just went through, it's quite recent, it changed the way the organization has started working? Like you said, like 20 years, people have been working in the same way. Boom, everything was suddenly changed.
Yeah, I think that people in the different organizations, the different managers, and people on the field realized that this digital transformation is necessary. And maybe not this specifically digital transformation, but the continuous loop of improvement through the digital is absolutely necessary. Not for any topics. You can see different post-it on Iterop rules. So in our own office, we have a lot of different IT tools, but we are still using for several topics, post-its on a wall. And this is the best way to solve some problems. But for some other ones, I think that the pandemic make people understand that, okay, for some tasks, it is absolutely necessary to connect people, to break down traditional barriers, to deploy interesting and relevant IT systems, to collaborate and work together. And me, as manager, my own objective is to identify the real needs and make them and connect them with appropriate tools. This is what digital transformation is, and being user experience oriented.
Yeah, because customer is everything in the end.
Yeah, and I want the users to be happy.
Yeah.
Because if my team and if my customers' team are not happy, they won't use our tool. And me, as a manager, if I deploy a new tool in my organization, I will spend some energy to convince, to implement it. So I need to choose the appropriate tool. And I think that business process management approach allow a lot of flexibility in deploying a new tool, because it's not a tool we cannot change. It is a tool we can fully customize.
Okay, like you talked about business process management right now. I want to know about like the business process mindset, because right now, like business processes are of course really important in an organization, how they are optimized, how they are streamlined. But what is the mindset that is needed, in your opinion, to be like in this space? You know?
Just something very personal. I joined Iterop formerly as a consultant 5 years ago. Oh gosh, 5 years ago, just before the pandemic, because just after my PhD, I was thinking, okay, in any organization, we absolutely need the ability for business people in the field to build their own tools. Maybe not ERP, CRM, or this kind of very, very complex tools and very common tools. But for specific needs, I'd like me as a person, as a manager now in an organization, to be autonomous on my specific needs, because nobody else than me and my team knows our needs better than us. So I joined Iterop because of this. And the business process management approach, this mindset, is considering the fact that people knows. We are, as an IT provider, we do not know precisely how any customers wants to work, okay? Because they knows what they need. Maybe we have to help them to reveal these needs, to reveal the story, the different use cases, the whole pattern of their business processes. But the mindset for business process management is the fact that the teams knows how does it work. So you need to be able to feed and these needs. And the other topic about this mindset is, me as a manager, every day I have a lot of different constraints. We are, as a team, evolving in a very large environment, and constraints are changing because the organization is changing, because the regulation is changing, because our teams are changed, because, I don't know, maternity, people are leaving, people are coming, etc., etc. So we have to reorganize, organize, and reorganize again and again. And the business process management mindset is the way of thinking on how can I be agile and modify very easily and adapt in an agile way my own organization and my own tools in order to reduce the gap between my needs, operational ones, and the different answers to these needs on an IT perspective. And to reduce this gap, I need to be able, in a low-code and no-code approach, to design and redesign and modify slightly, but just adapt.
Yeah, the way of continuous improvement, you know, like, because if someone leaves, someone comes in, there's always like a onboarding period that there is challenges from the person who is coming in, the person who is teaching them as well.
Yeah, and the different missions are going to change, and somebody who was previously doing just sales maybe will have some marketing missions, and somebody with marketing missions maybe will have to organize events, but it was not the case before. So I need to adapt my own way of working, my day-to-day work, to these different constraints. And I like and I want to adapt my IT tools to these organizational changes. Because they won't disappear.
Exactly.
Any organization needs to adapt and readapt, even very, very operationally. But if I want not to support processes, you know, the processes you have to respect in your organization, but you want these processes to support you as a person, a coworker in an organization. You need this process to be supportive, and you do not want to, you know, I think that everybody who is listening has processes to respect, and we want this process to help us in our day-to-day life.
Do you have like an example, a real life thing that you have worked around, that you saw like, okay, like these guys, they really need it. They really need like a small small operational thing that they can improve with the business process mindset and with the business process solution?
Maybe I have two. The first one is a customer's one. It's very personal because this is the first ever customer I won as a new sale. And it's a company we are working with for 4 years now. And at the very beginning, as a quality manager who was very, very young at this period, we were more or less the same age. And we were working together because he was hesitating. Business process management, he has to know for quality management, and for claim management in particular. He was hesitating, saying, okay, but I'm not sure I want to deploy a first version of the process, and this first version won't cover the whole pattern and all the different needs. And I was trying to convince him, saying, you should try first. And this is the way, this is how to think business process management. Try first. Maybe at the end, you will change your mind. Maybe you will understand that, okay, it does not fit. Business process management is not fully adapted, but try.
Yeah, that's small.
Yeah, try small. Yeah. And this is about business process management mindset. I think it's the third topic, maybe. Try small, begin small. And, we have customers who deployed processes in 2 or 3 hours. These 3 concrete examples. And this customer tried with the first process to deal with claim management. At the beginning, claim management was usually the last 40 days, okay, between the claim, when the claim arrived, and the claim closure. Usually they spent 40 days in order to route these claims to the appropriate departments, and sometimes they had to ask from the outside to other partners and experts, etc., for 40 days. After several versions in a year, we deployed the first version in January, and at the end of the year, we were at, 4th or 5th version. In December, they were able to deal with their claim in 4 days.
Wow.
They divided the time to deal with their claim by 10. And I'm very proud of it. I think that begin with a very naive way of thinking, just drawing. When I explain my job to my niece and my family, I always say, my job is just drawing boxes and arrows on a whiteboard to simplify people way of working. And I think this is something we have to keep in mind. We are all working in organization with a lot of challenges, objectives, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but let's begin again to be a child.
Yes, take a step back.
Exactly, take a step back and just draw how you want to work.
Yeah.
Like, I want to draw my Christmas list or anything, I want to dream about my castle with princess and kings, etc. This is what I want my customers to do.
Yeah.
Begin small. Try with, maybe it won't be the castle. It will be a house.
Yeah.
But a house is better than nothing in any organization. This tiny process allows you to step forward. And then, okay, you improve it, you test it with people in the teams, and you improve it on the way.
Exactly. So the continuous improvement way of living.
Yeah, exactly.
Really interesting example that you gave. I want to create a scenario, let's say, like I just started a company or I've been working in an industry for 10 years or 20 years. I want to start like the digital transformation in my company. I want to set it up through the business process way. What 3 advices that you can give me or like any other person who is listening, like basic 3 advices that how to start, how to go through with it, and how not to be scared of it.
Yeah, let's summarize them. The first thing is don't be afraid to start small. This is the way. As I said, we are in organization with a lot of challenges, etc. But let's keep this tiny liberty we all have on our own job. And let's nurture it and try small. When you want to deploy a new tool, you can deploy it in few weeks, in few months. Thinking about IT tools should not make you think about 2, 3, 4 years project.
Yeah.
Start small with operational added value very quickly. This is absolutely necessary. When one of our customers come and say, I want 20 different processes and I want them in 6 months or in a year, you have to deal with it. No, as I said at the very beginning, digital transformation, it's about people, how we can link and connect people with technology. So start small with a tiny team, 20 people, maybe more, but not a very large team. Try small on a small process and involve your teams. Digital transformation can be successful if you involve your teams. If you try to, deploy it one day, okay, let's discover this new process, these new IT tools. What? It can't work. So start small. The second one is obviously being transparent. Okay, involve the different teams because your teams knows how to deal with their day-to-day tasks. So what are the different variables to deal with? What could be the added value of each different tasks we are going to assign to these different people? I need this variable first and this other one on the second place because I have in another IT systems these variables in this order. Yeah. So these are very, very specific, very, very tiny customization. But this customization you can design in business process management tools like Iterop are the way to facilitate the implementation and the digital transformation changes, which is sometimes a big word.
Yeah.
And the third thing is do not hesitate to deploy. Because we said start small. Okay, you can imagine a process. You can imagine your dream process. Okay, you start small, so with a tiny one first, and think about the next version. But what I see sometimes is the fact that people say, okay, let's start small with, I don't know, a process with 20 different tasks. But at the end, when they are ready to deploy, they fear to deploy.
Okay.
They come back and say, oh, we should add this functionality and we should add this functionality before deploying the version 1. No, you start small,
test it out
with a pattern, and you test it on the field.
Yeah.
You test it concretely. And after that, you will see if version 2 is absolutely necessary. We are used to compare this to cars. You start small. Maybe you are dreaming about Ferrari, Mercedes, or I don't know, very expensive car, okay, to race. And you will start with, I don't know, a scooter, I mean, a motorbike. And then version 2 is casual car. And maybe in your casual car, you will notice that this very expensive car for racing is not necessary.
Yeah.
You dreamt about it because we all dream about different IT tools with a lot of buzzwords in it. So AI, for instance, a lot of different connections between systems, etc. This is your dream. This is how you imagine it. But I have a lot of different examples of a lot of different customers who started saying, I want absolutely this connection to my ERP or CRM. And we deploy a first version without this connection to say, okay, let's deploy it in a week because we are able to deploy a process in a week. Yeah. And at the end of the week, we are saying, okay, and we will talk again in a month after our test, operation 1 on production, and let's imagine version 2 with all these connections. And 2, 3, 4 days, 4 years after that, we still do not have any connection because finally, they are not necessary. And sometimes making connection is kind of complex and it requires times and money because the other software do not want to be connected to business process management tools. And these people are saying, finally, I do not need it because I have my task, I have all the variables of all the data I need, and I just copy paste them very quickly. I do not have a lot of demands. That's fine. So
drag and drop way of working. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So start small, be transparent, involve people, and please don't deploy. Do not deploy version 1.
It's like a really interesting talk for me. I learned a lot, I think, and I think like the people who will be listening as well, they will be learning a lot from you as well. But before you go, I do have one, I would say, the kind of a personal question that I ask everyone who comes to this podcast. Since you have been working in your different stages in your life and you have joined Dassault Systems, it's a corporate before Iterop was a startup. But in your personal life, I would say, like, how do you define success?
Wow. I hitchhike personally, sometimes during vacation, just for fun. I could afford train or car sharing, but I love to hitchhike because It's a way to meet people you will not meet and not to have any schedule in your mind. I mean, when I am on the road, I do not know what will happen in 5 minutes. And we do not have a lot of opportunities in our day-to-day life to live just this parenthesis during which you do not know, you have no clue of what will happen in 5 minutes. Okay? And when I was writing my thesis, I register your question. I'm coming to it. When I was doing my thesis, I wrote the story of a parcel, a container. I named it Zebulon. Okay, and this parcel was an opportunistic and intelligent parcel able to make his own decision or her own decisions on hyper-connected logistic networks, which means I considered during my thesis that containers could react and make decisions as a hitchhiker can make it on the road. There is a truck passing nearby my parcel, and the parcel and the truck just discuss, connected one to another, saying, okay, where are you going? I'm going to Paris. And the parcel, oh, I'm going to, I don't know, London. Okay, should I go to Paris first with you, the truck, yes or no, and make a decision? This opportunistic way of seeing the different steps during a journey, I think this is deeply me as a person, hitchhiker, but as a person, the way I consider my day-to-day life and my career, because success is often linked with career or family or different objectives we may have. Opportunism, in French at least, it's sometimes seen as something not very positive. Okay, people sometimes think opportunist is something linked with selfish, with proudness, etc., etc. I see opportunism as something very positive. Success for me is the ability to go from step 1 to step 2, step 2 to step 3 on an opportunist way, which means at one specific moment, I see all the different possibilities and I take advantage of one of them, and take advantage because at this specific moment, if I look back and I see who I am now, I think this way is the best, and I do not want to anticipate all the different steps, all the different needs I will have. And I'm 32 today. I do not know what I will want when I will be 40 or 50. And what is success? Some people are dreaming about. I do not. I just want to step by step,
like you said,
take them, take the path, take the way that fits the most with my emotions, my intellectual objectives, my career, family, etc., etc. So success for me, if I look back and I see all the different steps I made, and I say, okay, this story is mine, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
No, that's his success.
Your story, yes.
Looking back and not looking in the future.
Okay, living in the present.
Living in the present. Namaste.
Perfect, Quentin. Thanks a lot again. This was a really interesting talk that we had for the business process, as well as on your personal successful success journey.
Sorry, I'm a bit talkative.
We love that. We love that.